Yo, yo. So, yeah, this is walking from the bottom of the Witelse River upstream. The video I did from 2018 was the full Witelse hike from the top of the Witelse down. So this is from the bottom up. But still spectacular and a lot easier. Not that steep ascent to get in and all that. And yeah, we just went with a bunch of friends. Again, really awesome to spend some time in nature with this river flowing through and the constant noise it makes. It's often catches me, these sort of sounds of nature that just keep on doing their thing.
Green blood, so
More green blood, yeah. Oh, I just went up with my shoes on.
No!
No quiche.
I remember it for a long time.
But look, I think we can get across there. I think. Yeah, it's funny how often out in nature or walking or hiking, one starts bantering about the strangest little things. As we were walking up there, we noticed these little patches of like green on the rocks, and for a moment, well, for quite a while, we started thinking that was like the way up. That was marking the path up, or the easiest way, or a way, because there's no path with these sort of things, and we'd call it green blood and look out for these patches of green blood and follow that up. But I think after a while we kind of realized it wasn't to mark the path at all. It was whoever was up there sort of doing alien clearing, and they used some sort of liquid to stop the alien veg from coming up again. And it was more just it was being spilt. So it was not intentional at all. With or without cream is the question. I was going to say, I've got this fascination with water and how it sort of just flows continuously downstream, and it finds its way just through gravity, and the way it finds its way and the way it interacts with rocks and stuff as it's finding its way down, and interact with itself and the patterns it creates, and also the slow motion of it. Like if you were to slow that stuff down, it's just mind-blowing. And yeah, this thing of random where nothing's really random. It all just happens for a reason. We might just not know what the reason is.
Yeah.
Myself water.
I don't know actually.
Actually, yeah. Beautiful that is. That is just fucking spectacular. Sorry, but no other words. Fucking spectacular. I've been pondering upon this thing recently, where there's this thing, or the saying, or whatever you want to call it, that nature heals, and you know, when you go into nature, then we heal ourselves, and there's a lot of truth in that. You know, definitely find a huge sense of peace and calm whenever we're in nature. And I think that's one of the reasons I really enjoy these hikes, is just to spend a few days on end in nature, in that environment. But just this concept that nature heals is quite interesting, because I realized the other day that actually it's maybe not that nature specifically heals, it's more that we were born in nature as mankind. We're from nature. That used to be our environment and our default world. And it's more that we've built society and we've built all the quote unquote, or some of the crazy things that we do in the busyness and the traffic and the cities. We've built all that kind of environment, and we've kind of created an environment for ourselves that's not part of nature and not entirely healthy for us. And it's more this realization that actually it's not the nature that's healing, it's more that that's where we belong. We belong in and amongst nature. And when we are in nature, therefore, we feel far more at home. And we've actually created these city environments that aren't that healthy for us. It was just quite an interesting flip of realization. Yeah.
Wat ton Flavie? Wat ton Flavie? I think this path actually maybe went on a while. I think this path actually goes on for a while.
Yeah.
And we, oh, maybe not. I don't know, I don't see anything strong, eh?
Yeah, true.
I'm kind of,
Here again is this thing of, you know, finding our own path or finding a way through, which is so symbolic of life. Sometimes it's open and clear, the way forward, and sometimes it's somewhat not, and we knock our heads and whatever, but find our way through and then get back to the floating and the cruising through life, I guess, a bit like a river. You know, there's stretches that are gentle and calm and floating, and other parts that are through rocks and rapids and a bit bouncy. Yeah, I find so much symbology between all these things.
It's my reality, stuff that happens in dreams. It's like you create stuff in instant in here. So my dreams are full.
This is us trying to make some flat areas for us to sleep on the side of the river there. this is again a big part of like us finding our own way down this river. And yeah, I've got somewhat rather long legs, and so I'll find a route that suits me, and other people with different body types will find, yeah, their way down. And it's, yeah, this symbology again of finding one's own way. And yeah, this realization, and it kind of dawned on me after or during editing this video too, is that, you know, we will find a way. It's just about taking the time and slowing down and pacing ourselves and finding our own way.
Looks like a spitting cobra. They're usually black in the pictures.
Yeah. That's got to be what they call a golden cobra. Surely.
Yeah, what a beauty that was. You don't often see snakes like that lying in the open. It's amazing. They often are well out of the way. They normally hear you or something coming and they're gone, especially cobras like that. So it's very rare that you see cobras at all. Puff adders are another story, but you got to really keep your eye out for those. But otherwise, yeah, generally snakes and things keep their own distance.
Real fanciness.
Yeah, and this is us heading back out. We're almost back on the road, and as you'll see in a bit, the unfortunateness of humans and plastic and waste and all the rest that is suddenly found now that one's closer to humanity. And that's after spending 3 days, I think it was, in the absolute pristine, clean and beauty of nature, cleanness, or whatever the word would be. So yeah, thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed, and check you on the next one.
Back to people, and there's plastic and pollution and
Mate, it's like we're going to stop it, yeah.